Hey everybody, it's Friday. I'm still Kevin Murcko. I'm sitting in the offices at CoinMetro, and this is our weekly AMA, or This Week in Crypto. I don't know, we changed the name at some point. I still like This Week in Crypto, though, even though I don't read the news anymore. Oh well. So here we are. Hey, Jens, nice to see you here. So let's get started. You guys asked the questions. I'm going to answer them. It's been a progressive week, a productive week, I guess, here at CoinMetro. I think it's always productive, but sometimes more notable than others. But definitely things are getting done. We're doing a lot of work on starting to push out our first B2B feature, which is legal KYC and individual KYC for other companies, Ignium being our first client. So lots of work being done there in the background. Yep, Jens, you were first, so gold medal to you. It's right up here in the corner. So there's your gold medal right there. See? I got it ready for you. So, wanted to be nice. It's Friday. It's the holiday season. Hey, Udos, how are you? Was that Phaser? Hey, Phaser. Let's pop this one up on the screen. Are CM employees allowed to participate in the Uniswap pool with their own personal funds? I can't stop employees from utilizing a third-party service. So yes, they would be allowed to do that. We do have restrictions internally about selling of XCM. You can buy XCM as an employee, but to sell it, you actually need permission from the board. And obviously we do that to make sure that, especially the larger holders like myself, like the other majority shareholders, aren't just selling XCM willy-nilly into the book. But yes, withdrawing XCM is not an issue. Employees can buy it, they can withdraw it, and they could participate on Uniswap if they wanted to. That's for sure. So no restrictions on that whatsoever. Yeah. Reason to celebrate for sure, being first. I would say though, technically, I'm always first. I'm not saying I need a medal for that or anything. I'm just saying I'm usually first. I mean, I think I have to be first, actually. Actually, no. I think I have come in here before I go live. People can actually come in because it shows as pending. So actually, theoretically, live, someone else can be first. That's true. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to think what else. The beard's still growing. That's another thing that's been happening this week. I used to have this thing when I was a trader that I would let my beard grow until I hit a certain profit point, and then I would shave. And the longest it ever got was roughly a third Fu Manchu. So it was about this long. I looked absolutely ridiculous. Also didn't get a haircut. Not that there's that much up there to cut, but as you can see now, well, you can't really, the great thing about green screen, guys, is that the black greens, that's why I leave this one on with the coins, because it's got this black background. Because you can't really see how ridiculous my hair looks. But hair is getting a bit too long too, and definitely need to cut that this weekend. But I was an absolute mess. I think I didn't shave the beard or cut my hair for, I think, 9 weeks. No, I'm sorry, it was way longer than that actually. It was probably close to 8 months actually, because I set myself a pretty crazy profit target, and I didn't shave until I got there. So I haven't been doing that. I just been kind of working too much and then going to sleep too late, waking up and going, tomorrow. Plus all meetings are virtual, right? So you can get away with shit like this. You can't really walk into somebody's office looking like, ZZ Top, but virtually for some reason it's acceptable. So that's pretty cool. So, +1 for COVID, I guess, on that one. How am code? Yeah. Any plans for futures? Do you mean adding futures to the site, or do you mean any plans for the future? I'll answer both. So we have lots of plans for the future, and obviously somebody's going to ask a more specific question, so we'll go on. So I'm not going to. So clarify for me. But if you mean adding futures, not in the current roadmap, simply because it will require licensing. Licensing we don't currently have. So adding futures, no. Expanding on the leverage on our margin platform, 100%. That's coming. That's coming rather soon as we bring in new liquidity providers. But specifically offering futures, not at the current moment, no. What will CoinMetro use Parsec services for? Hey, Squeezable. Are you squeezable? Is that what it is? The avatar looks somewhat squeezable. Let's see. How will we use? So we've used Parsec services in the past for tracking, kind of on-chain auditing. We haven't used it necessarily for compliance purposes, though they're building out that, and I think at some point we may. Right now, we still use majority Chainalysis to run our on-chain monitoring. However, we have done, let's say, auditing and monitoring to try and get some data about incoming and outgoing funds outside of our system. I expect Parsec to build on their feature set over time, and I think the more features that they build out, the more features we're going to use. They also have a major feature that is not necessarily tied into what they're doing right now, and I'm not going to mention what it is because it's not my place, but it's supposed to roll out Q1 next year, and that's probably something that we're going to be using as well much more extensively, as will many other companies that do the same as CoinMetro, I would imagine. Hey, Jeff Field, nice to see you. Over here, bald guys just say they are bald on purpose. Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with being bald, man. I mean, if you're a dude and you're bald, there is some head stigma though, because if you have a really weird shaped head, it might be difficult to be bald. I mean, I've seen some head shapes that are mind-boggling. So I don't know. I don't know if it would really affect me, to be honest. I really don't care so much. I just haven't gone full bald because I don't know. I just haven't done it. Like I've gone to the barber and the guy, the dude or the woman, whatever, says, "How do you want it?" And I'm like, "Short." It's pretty much what I say, short. And then, they just do whatever they think short is. And I'm like, and I pay my money and leave. Simple as that. The day I go in and say short and the dude just, shaves it down to nothing, well, then that's the day that's going to happen, I guess. But yeah, I agree. Most countries now, I think most dudes don't really care about being bald. No reason to. Imagine if ICO buyers didn't shave until they saw a profit. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it might actually, what it would do is it would help people not sell. Right? Because, you're stuck. Once you make that commitment, you can't sell. And then they're going to look so ridiculous that they're going to be telling their friends to buy because like, man, please buy. It might actually work to our advantage. Be some crazy beards though, that's for sure. Lost my debit card and ID today. Make me feel better by telling us when the CoinMetro cards will be available. Ah, man, that sucks. I've been in that position. I think everybody's been in that position, man. It's like the one thing that can make me as an adult male, like panic, freak out and want to cry. Is when, I can't find my wallet. And then then you start going through like this crazy, like, you start seeing like math formulas in your head, like where you went, where you put your wallet down, who might've touched it. Everybody becomes a suspect. I'm looking at my 9-year-old. I'm like, son of a bitch, what'd you do? I'm trying to blame my wife somehow. She wasn't even in the car with me when I left it, but it's her fault somehow. I'm thinking about the cashier. She had some beady eyes. I don't know, man. She's trying to steal my MasterCard. I start going through this whole thing, and then usually what happens is I retrace my steps for a day, and then I'm like, I got to cancel. I start monitoring all my apps to make sure no one's spending my money, and then I'm like, I'm going to cancel everything. And right before I cancel it, I find like the wallet between, I don't know, two couch cushions, and I'm like, and then I just look like the biggest asshole in the world. So hopefully that's what happens to you, Lynx. Hopefully, but CoinMetro cards. So I had the last time I talked to our bank as a service provider, I was told again that their policy is done and almost signed off on, just almost, like this close to being signed off on, and he expects it to be signed off soon. He actually said soon, just in case people think that's entirely bullshit. He said soon. I don't know their definition of soon. I mean, the CoinMetro soon has been defined, I think, to no end. But to this service provider, I've only heard it a few times, so I don't necessarily have enough data to tell you what soon means. But I'm hoping it happens literally soon. As soon as it does, though, you guys will know, and hopefully you get a card back before that happens, Lynx. I hope. Trolling aside, just wanted to ask about the progress on the virtual IBANs. So virtual IBANs. Originally, when we were going through LHV, that's what we were going to use for the virtual IBANs. We've had capabilities to launch virtual IBANs with our current bank as a service provider almost since we started. However, and I'll tell you why we haven't done it. Here we go. So I don't really have any notes. I just decided to look down so that you could feel bad for me for being bald, and then maybe you take this a little better. So here we go. So virtual IBANs. So the way we structured the system we structured it in a way that we'd be able to offer cards that weren't prepaid, but actual function like debit cards. What does that mean? That means when the cards are brought out, they can actually go to a negative balance for a certain amount of time as we make the conversion from Bitcoin or whatever, and then put the money actually onto that card balance. And that's important because if we were to give everyone their own ledger and tie the cards to that ledger directly, that means that they would have to have euros, dollars, whatever on that ledger to be able to make a card payment. We wouldn't be able to have Bitcoin somewhere and then calculate the price of Bitcoin in the same amount of time needed for the machine to wait, the cash machine or the merchant card processing unit, whatever, merchant card processing unit. I don't even, maybe that's actually a thing. The time is too long. So basically things would get denied for no reason. And in doing so, that means we created an omnibus structure, one ledger that holds all the fiat. And in doing that, it meant that it didn't make any sense to issue individual IBANs. When we issue the individual IBAN, if there's a card attached to it, which again, we were told that cards would happen much sooner than they've happened. We can go back and restructure everything and issue the virtual IBANs. But then as soon as the cards come out, we'll have to restructure it again. So what we're waiting on now is for cards to be done. And in the same rollout, you will be able to have a virtual IBAN and a card. That's essentially the thing. So we did something initially because we were told cards were going to happen much quicker, and it gave us the ability to offer a better card product. Obviously, cards haven't happened, but if we change it now, we're going to have to change it again. Did the U.S. marketing start? How are new signups coming along? So we did have some marketing kickoff, specific ad network that we're on, an investor ad network. There was some, it took them some time to set it up. There was some errors. They've given us some free days. So actually, I think we have 10 or 15 free days worth of advertising. It finally kicked off on Monday of this week, actually, Monday or Tuesday, or maybe even Jesus, the weeks are long. I know it's Friday because I'm sitting here talking to you guys, but I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it might have been Tuesday, actually. Anyway, and we're tracking that. We're going to get a tracker report next Thursday, so we'll see how that's going. U.S. ads are still being pushed out, still with relatively small budgets, trying to find. We've had an issue with our U.S. dollar provider where we advertise, let's say, instant ACH deposits, and obviously on your first try, you have to wait to be able to use the instant ACH. So people tend to fall off at that point because there wasn't enough communication to understand that, well, the first time you do it, it may take 3 to 5 days for this provider to accept your documents. Again, this provider told us that 80% would be done instantly. In fact, only about 4% are instant. And I'm currently working with them. I tag them every day, and I annoy them every day to try and get us over that hump to figure out what the problem is. They say they're hiring more compliance people. I say we need a solution now. Eventually, we will get there and have a solution. But for now, that is impeding some of our U.S. conversion. And thus, we're trying to find different copy that still gets people to click, but keeps them and converts them. So ongoing. New signups are on the rise, though. Average volumes are on the rise. Since January of this year till now, we've 40x'd our trading volume. So that's quite a nice metric. If we do that again, we are way beyond profitable. And we will do it again. Just matters of the time frame that we do it in. We're constantly getting more and more signups. Signups are ticking up. The amount of people that are dealing with support. I just had a meeting yesterday, a quarterly meeting with support. Oliver, myself, and almost the entirety of our support team was there. And we talked about how many conversations, how many 94% of conversations are actually closed where clients say they're happy. So lots of good metrics coming out, and we are growing. Follow up on last week's comments on interface. First impression was a bit off-putting. Interface itself is good and includes features that others don't have. Okay. Visuality and color theme should be more coherent. Background of charts, same as others. Change yellow button color. Yep. Also the ability to move position of order book, etc. would be nice. Yep. So we are now, if you look at homepage, dashboard, and markets page, etc., they're starting to have the same visual and color schemes. We still haven't gone back, and it's on the roadmap to do the exchange, the margin platform. They both need polishing. I agree. The yellow button is something that comes up here as well. They need to follow the same color schematic, and they will. And so 100%. What's great about this feedback is that I agree with everything you said, and we've already have those things on our to-do list. So it just further shows that one, spot on for you, And two, that other people have said the same thing. And that's how feedback works. And we're so glad to get it because it tells us what to do. Already on the roadmap. We expect those things to happen Q1 next year. The reason that they're not happening now is we have two major things we're working on, all tied to KYC to be able to sell that product to third parties. And then lots of low-hanging fruit, notification remodels, header remodeling, all these things we're trying to do before we go out for Christmas break. And then in January, start fresh with some major products, major projects, of which this is one. Appreciate the feedback. Have you had many projects that have listed on CoinMetro offer joint ventures? If so, what would that look like? So most of the things that we've listed so far, we've listed proactively. So when we were first going out looking for listings, when we listed BAT and when we listed some of these other altcoins, the first batch of altcoins we listed, we did so primarily because we just wanted to get some altcoins listed and we got some feedback and we just went out and listed them. We didn't actually go talk to we tried to reach out to their communities. They didn't get back to us. Then we changed how we would work that, and we started to be a bit more proactive. So with things like Cadena, with things like Quant, with things that we're in talks with right now, we just had a great talk, Oliver and I, with a company yesterday that's in AI. I had a talk with another company that's working with Quant, creating interoperability for settlements and other things. You probably have heard of them. They have a lot of partnerships. I think they release a new one every day. So what it looks like, it's never the same. For example, with something like Quant or Cadena, or even the company that we just talked to, we're starting to see a pattern where you have companies that release tokens, that the token is a utility token that used to access their platform, buy licenses, whatever. They're going to need treasury management. Why? Well, they have a token. They want to get paid. They can get paid in cash, but they want to buy tokens when the cash is being paid, or they want people to pay in tokens. They need a place to store those tokens. They need a place to be able to quickly do transactions between those tokens. And they need a place that can be invoiced from or to when they have to deal with large scale purchases. Imagine a central bank or a Microsoft or a Skype having to go and buy tokens on Uniswap or IDEX to be able to buy a license that they want to do business with. I don't see that happening. I don't see that even as remotely possible. What that means is they need a company they can invoice, a pro forma invoice or whatever, and that company or that bank or that institution can then send a wire transfer, send a SEPA transfer, send a domestic wire in the US, pay with a credit card, pay with a commercial account, whatever, and then receive the tokens. They don't even need to receive, they receive the license, but the tokens are bought or whatever inside of an order book. And that type of treasury management, tokenized treasury management of tokens, we're starting to see is something that most companies don't even know they need, and most companies and most exchanges and don't offer. And so I think that's definitely part of what possibly a joint venture would look like with some companies. With other companies, joint venture can be as simple as PR, exchanging things with our own communities, offering them some specific services. Maybe their communities want some type of widget, maybe they want, and we can work on those things together. It can also be as simple as, we want to incorporate our token on our own website, and we need the ability to have automatic conversion from this asset to cash or whatever. So that, again, a treasury management tool. So those are kind of low-hanging fruit in terms of partnerships, but it can mean almost anything. It can maybe the company comes on and says, look, we're going to need an exchange. We want to partner with one. Maybe there's a token swap. Maybe there's a token swap between XCM tokens and the company's tokens. Maybe there's even an equity swap. Maybe there's investment from one side or the other. It can mean a variety of different things, but what we have been seeing lately is that need for treasury management. What's next on the development release schedule? So what's next? Low-hanging fruit? Well, they're not really low-hanging. Notification remodeling on the platform, header remodeling on the platform, login pages I think might be on there, and then this KYC, this legal KYC, and then individual KYC retool so that we can have specific domains for those products, meaning that Ignium needs to use it. They can use it on the Ignium domain, style it as they want, and we just handle the onboarding. Right now, the onboarding is together with CoinMetro onboarding. So we want to segment that. Once we segment it, becomes a true B2B product, and we can sell it to other companies. And we have had many companies ask us about it in the past. So that's what's on the schedule right now. There's a few other low-hanging things as well. Mobile app, as you saw, finally, we have a version that we feel we can actually release. It's not where we want to be, but it's much closer to where we want to be. We actually have calls. We're trying to figure out right now who we're going to put on this development team for the next release, where we really want to really fine tune what we're doing. And we may be bringing in some additional people as well onto the development team for back end and front end from this same team that we're talking to about mobile development. So we'll have to see where that leads. But what we're talking about with new developers and with the current team we have is that we want to transition once we get through these last two big projects, which is going to lead us into January, February. But at the same time, we want to have quick releases of easy wins. We want the public to see that we're doing something. We've been doing lots, but sometimes you don't see it, so people get dismayed. They think things aren't happening. So we want to focus on easy win deliverables and then long-term projects at the same time. That's how we want to moving forward. Something to put on the to-do list. Deposit. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I see a few have come in, but make sure, guys, please thumbs up, hearts. I don't know where you're watching. But if you don't like what you're seeing, then whatever. Don't click the thumbs up or the heart, I guess. But if you do like what you're seeing, please, it would help us. Thanks. So a deposit account changes should trigger an email notification to us. There was a change from GBP account back to my. Yeah, I would say. So I don't know if this will ever be automated. I'm not, because to be fair, it shouldn't change all that much, though it has changed in the past. But we definitely, you guys saw that email we sent about, maintenance for an hour today in the evening. We should have been doing that forever, and we weren't. And we're going to start doing it. This is something like that. When we're going to make a change that we know can affect you guys, we should make you aware of it. So yeah, that's definitely, we dropped the ball on that in the past. I don't plan on dropping the ball on that again in the future. So I agree with you, Uros, definitely on the to-do list and already kind of in motion as of this last maintenance email. Hey, Kevin, have a great weekend. Thank you. And I agree with the hair. The gray tone of your beard is classy. Well, appreciate that. Gray tone. I like how you say it's a tone and it's not just gray. Appreciate that. Any new biz dev this week? This week? Not really. Right now, my focus is, well, a lot of things, but I guess high level focus is on fundraising and on regulatory. So we have some regulatory things right now to make sure we can maintain the current services we have and add some new services. So that's at the forefront, and as well as, fundraising, because regulatory keeps us in business, lets us do new business, and money lets us pay for that business. So both those things are really kind of high on my agenda. Did have a talk with a platform in the UK about possibly providing them with crypto services. So that is something new on the biz dev. Had a call with them last week. I will be emailing them this evening with a bullet point list of what I think we can do. They've been talking to some other providers, and I got some information from those providers that tells me they're not compatible. So we'll see where that leads. Hey, Brian. Oh, is XCM staking still on track for Q4? Good question. Staking, I think we will have something out in Q4. Actually, next week there's going to be a cool announcement, which will happen, I think, on Wednesday, maybe? We'll see. About something that we're doing specifically with XCM, which I think people will like. It's all about progress and maintaining a healthy order book. In terms of XCM staking in general, I think we might have something to titillate the senses during Q4. The entirety of the staking won't happen during Q4, though. Would you like a new merchant service provider? Hey, Cement. Depends. If you're a merchant service provider that is going to allow people to buy Bitcoin with a credit card and then just deposit the Bitcoin to CoinMetro, no. Don't want that type of service. If you provide merchant accounts so that we can charge cards ourselves and then clients get credited with the fiat and they can do what they want with that fiat, then if you can beat the rates we currently have, which are already pretty good, then I'm willing to talk. If you have some other APM, alternative payment method, like localized payment method, like for some specific countries, and you give decent rates, and again, the euros, dollars, pounds, Singapore dollars, whatever, are what we're actually credited with, then yeah, I'm open to discussion. Are you allowed to participate as a private person Me? Yeah, I am. But for me, I might be a private person. You know, Kevin Murcko's a private person, but I'm still intrinsically connected to CoinMetro. So when CoinMetro shouldn't do something, I feel that I'm CoinMetro. So while our other employees can choose to do what they want on Uniswap, I would probably still shy away from it. I've never used Uniswap, never placed an order on Uniswap, and I don't necessarily plan to. So yeah, that's kind of my viewpoint. Again, could I? Yeah, I could. This year is about to end. What is, in your opinion, the biggest accomplishment in 2020? Well, we have seen tremendous growth. You guys remember January, like I said, we were doing daily volumes of 30K, daily volumes of 20K. I saw days on the weekends with 3K. I think our high in January was 80K in one day. And so in terms of amount of clients, in terms of maturity, in terms of the brand, in terms of, we've done a lot of things that I like. We still have improvements to make, that's for sure. I think we've done well in making our way through a bear market coming into, when I say bear market, I'm not talking about price in general, just that people didn't care about crypto for a while. We were able to make our way through that. We've created more stability in XCM. It might not be higher, it might not be at the price everybody wants, but it's getting more and more stable, and that's a great first step to higher pricing. So I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see the advancements we've made in our own products. I'm happy to see lots of different things. I don't know, I think a major accomplishment, the major accomplishment would be growth. We've seen actual, really concrete, statistically backed growth. And if we have the same growth that we had in 2020 and 2021, then we are beyond profitable. So we are making money and we are happy and we have sustainable volumes that can sustain that profitability well into the years to come. So I think from a high level, that's it. I lost my wallet. Oh, Jesus. I lost my wallet once during a flea market visit. Nice, been there. I searched for roughly 1 hour and retraced my credit card instantly. After 1 hour, I found it untouched on one of the booths where I forgot it. Yeah. I'm wondering where that flea market is, because usually if that was like, I don't know, Florida, Spain, I don't know, whatever, that wallet would have been gone in half a second. I've actually left my wallet at probably 3 different places in Estonia since I've been here. And every time when I've gone back, it's sitting in the same place. Nobody touched it. Amazing. You lose your wallet in Mexico, in your own car, in a locked car. Somehow it won't be there when you get back. That's pretty much how it works. So yeah, lost wallets suck, man. Like literally, I'm telling you, it brings tears to grown men's eyes. Lost wallet. Crazy. You said that CoinMetro will use new service from Parsec. Could you tell us when you will start to use it? Does that mean that you will have to buy Parsec to use their tech? Well, between you and me, I'm hoping that Parsec doesn't charge us to use their service. So maybe not. We already own a good amount of Parsec, I guess. So, and collectively in the company, we bought lots off the market, which I think helped them sustain through the times when nobody knew who they were. So I think we'll be repaid for that a little bit. But potentially, yes, it would mean that, yes. And when we would start to use it, I'm told the service will be ready sometime in February. So implementation might take a while, so maybe it would be March. So probably Q1, end of Q1, early Q2 next year. Definitely seems like you could use a new card provider. We'll have you up and running in a flash. Well, send me the offer. Please don't beat around the bush. Tell me exactly what you're going to charge me, whether that's interchange plus rate or whether it's a total rate. Tell me what currencies you can provide that in, what your settlement currencies are. If you only settle in one currency and let me charge in 20 currencies, I need to know the FX rate. Send me all those details. I don't care about the sales pitch. I just want the numbers. If the numbers fit, then we got a deal. When will XCM be added as a payment option to the merch store? Trying to get some sweet merch without currency exchange fees from the bank. Well, look, DM me, tell me what you want to buy, and we'll set a price. You send me the XCM, I'll buy the stuff on the store and ship it to you. How's that? And in terms of when it'll be there, I'd like to get it there. It's not a high priority because we don't have somebody we can put on it. If we had an extra guy or girl, we would put it on it. We'd put that on them and they'd get it done. Fortunately, we don't have that. When we build out the team, though, it'll be something that we'll do. But for now, it's not high priority. But DM me, like I said, tell me what you want. Put it in your shopping cart, tell me what the cost is. We'll fix on the top of book price of XCM. You can send me the XCM via the CoinMetro platform, or give me the rights to pull the XCM out, and then I'll go ahead and buy the products and send them to you. I don't understand how Bitcoin isn't fake. You don't understand how Bitcoin isn't fake. Fake what? Bitcoin isn't fake Bitcoin? Or Bitcoin is fake what? Fake money, maybe? Money only has a value because people put a value on it, right? Fiat money. Let's see, show of hands here, guys. Or, well, virtually, I guess. But I'm going to scroll to the bottom here so I can see comments come in. What does fiat mean? Anybody know what fiat, not the car company, don't come out with that. That's like the oldest joke in the book. I get that one every time I ask this question. But what does fiat mean in terms of fiat money? What does fiat mean? What's the definition? I'll give you guys like 30 seconds. Somebody type it in. Do 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 do. That was a Jeopardy theme song, by the way. Okay, so it's Final Jeopardy. Anyway, so nobody answered, so everybody fails. You guys all lost Jeopardy, man. You just completely lost Jeopardy, 100%. It's embarrassing. Okay, so fiat means by decree. There you go. Value by decree. Thank you, Don. See, so value by decree. What does that mean? That means someone says this is worth X and it's worth X. That's what it means. So when you think about that, then all money is fake. Money is money because the czar, the king, or in this case, the central bank tells you this is what it's worth. It's a debt instrument. It's literally the central bank telling you, we will pay this back to you at some point. We owe you this money. We got your back. So yeah, you got to refine that. Okay, seems like a scam to me. Okay, so I would say from many scams have come and gone with virtual money. Many things have come and gone that weren't scams, that were just shut down. People got screwed as well because the government shut it down. Bitcoin is decentralized. Can't really be shut down. It's a protocol. It's like the internet. You can't really shut down the internet. You can try to stop people from using it, but they find a way, VPNs, whatever, to use the internet. So the government's not able to stop it. That's one. Two, the creation of each asset that holds a value in the market is done by way of computers. It's done by way of consensus between powerful computers. There's no human manipulation that's involved. Those assets are going to be created whether you think it's a scam or not. They will be created and distributed. Now, the pricing happens in an open market. Now, those open markets can be manipulated. So you could make an argument that the price of Bitcoin is somewhat of a scam because the price can be manipulated. Now, the more people that use Bitcoin, the more people that trade it, and now you have PayPal, you have Visa, you have Fidelity, you have major banks, you have massive amounts of individuals all buying, selling, and trading Bitcoin, which adds to its market price, adds to the liquidity of the asset, making that asset more valuable. So over time, and I think we're at that point already, but over time, the price is a scam also doesn't hold weight. So it's a mathematically probable system that creates value by way of sophisticated computer systems. And it is decentralized in a way that there's no centralized power that can stop it. And that's probably the one reason why it still exists. And it's one of the major reasons why it holds value. Think about your governments that are printing money faster than they've ever printed it. So they printed more money in the last year than they have in the entire conception of paper money. And what does that do to all the other money on the market? Well, it makes it less valuable. It devalues that money. You may not see it devalued immediately, but over time, it will devalue money. Bitcoin doesn't have that problem. You can't print new Bitcoin arbitrarily. You get a certain amount of new Bitcoin every time a block is mined. Not every block, but every time a reward block is mined, you get a certain amount of Bitcoin released. And at 21 million, there's never any more. Now, the scarcity argument is a bit ridiculous at one extent because you can divide one Bitcoin into 100 million pieces, which means that's a sat, that's a Satoshi. So that means you can have, it's 100 million times 21 million, which is really what the available supply is, not really all that scarce. But aside from that scarcity argument, Bitcoin does hold value, and it's pretty, once you understand how it works, it's pretty hard to argue that it's a scam. Any update on the Paxful collabo? No. What we have found out is that they want a widget. They weren't really clear with that at the beginning. They want a widget. We don't have a widget. We need to create one. It's an 8 to 12 week project, and we need someone specifically on that project. We won't have someone on the team to specifically look at a project like that until at least mid-January. So still going to do it though. The B2B section of CoinMetro's website will be born early next year. It'll start off with the KYC solutions. It's going to move on to widgets. It's going to move on to other services, treasury as well, perhaps. As we talked about before, Dread Bongo's question. Really like the GIF shared of the new app. Looking forward. It's definitely better than the current one, and we're definitely happy for that. So glad you like it. Need any QA testers for the app? Yes. Yes, we do. 100%. Any comments on current CM bond raised amount and more talks with larger investments? So it's moving in the right direction. So I'm happy about that. I'm in talks with several different investors, the same investors that we initially talked about. Some of those investors have now expressed to me that they are coming in, but they're not coming in until January before the bond ends, with the simple reason of taxes. Others that have a small, like family office, also told me that January is key for them because right now they've closed the books until mid-January. So I think, look, in most fundraising, and I knew this to be the case, December raising money is never the best thing, but we have a 90-day subscription period, and I didn't want to wait to January to start. So the money that's come in has already been beneficial to us. So awesome. So going as planned in that route. We expected an influx at first. We expected a lull, and then we expected more influx toward the end in January. Specific reason why it was 90 days to end at the end of January, which gave us the entire month of January, which is generally a good month for fundraising. Is there any API on vaulting locking? API in what sense? Can you explain what you mean? We definitely have the ability to pull those numbers and via some form of an API and put them on our website. So in that case, yes. Do you mean, can you interact with the vaulting and locking? Let me know what you mean. Any new fiat support planned? We're always ready to support new fiat when demand is there. We have the ability to support several different Asian currencies, as well as Canadian dollar, through some of our suppliers. One of our biggest banking as a service providers is rolling out some other currencies as well in Asia in the beginning of next year. So we have the ability, but it costs. There's a rather significant cost at first to support it. So we need to know that support has to be there. We have to provide then liquidity usually in those, at least for the majors, for those currencies. And we need to understand that there's going to be volume there. So I think Canadian dollar is probably one of the first that we will support. We have gotten a few requests, maybe 10, 15 different requests so far. The new markets page that will roll out as well early next year will allow you to vote on what comes next, both fiat and tokens. So that's going to help us gauge interest. I'm growing the exact same beard and color and forehead myself. You're growing a forehead. You have to tell me how you do that. Maybe I could add a few centimeters. Not going to lie, I'm open for a surrogate position if you need a day or two off. Right on. If we can kind of, I don't know, get to the point where we look similar enough. Yeah, man, you could be like a stand-in. Like if I'm going to go to a rally and fear that somebody might shoot me or something, I mean, I'll have at it, man. You can go up there and gauge, say the first couple words or whatever. And as long as you don't get shot, then you could like fall through a trap door or something, and I'll come up and finish the speech. That actually might be good. I mean, usually, at some point, I'm probably going to have some issues, and I'm all for it. So let me know how many. I mean, I don't know how you're going to lengthen the forehead. I'd like to find out. I guess if the hairline recedes, then the forehead gets bigger. That's probably how you're doing it. I don't know. Interesting though. More thumbs up if all contribute indirectly to awareness of CM. Yep, please, please, please. Thumbs up are nice. By decree, awesome. Thank Don C. Kevin, if 100K came in tomorrow, what would you immediately kick off that you can't now? It's a good question. I would kick off bringing on new development help immediately, and then be able to start other larger projects without having to wait. That would probably be the first thing that I would do. Impressive speech about Bitcoin. You should have a debate with Peter Schiff. Yeah, I'd love to actually. I think Peter Schiff. If I was 140 years older, like Peter Schiff, I would probably have most of the same ideals he has in terms of how I look at Bitcoin. I have to be honest. If I was 140 years older, I wouldn't think the same as I think now. I do think that the back and forth he's had with like Pompliano. I think Pompliano's a smart guy. I think he makes some good arguments, but I think he makes the wrong arguments for a Peter Schiff. And I think there's different arguments that would convince someone like Peter Schiff that Bitcoin has a place in a portfolio. I don't give a shit if he thinks it's better than gold, because it might not be. Gold is really old. It's proven that it's a decent store of value for many people. Bitcoin hasn't proven as much as gold is proven. So if you want to say that gold is better, I have no problem. You say gold is better. It is better for some reasons. But new people, younger people, technology, the ability to transfer, the ability not only to transfer rights, the fact that the blockchain acts as the physical world in a digital form, like in a normal digital form, a digital way, and this is coming, you guys know Anatoly from Parsec. He's got this amazing doodle that explains this, and one day you'll have to ask him to see it, but I'll give you the visual, the verbal version of it. Assume you have an apple in real life. I give you the apple. I no longer have the apple. You have it. Transfer, right? It's done. There's no real way for me to take that apple back without, punching you in the face and stealing the apple, yeah? Or if you give it back to me. Other than that, you have the apple. The transaction is done. In the normal digital world, a database, I can give you that apple, but I can still hold a copy of the apple. So I have a document. I just give you a copy of it. You don't know if I have another copy. No idea. Bitcoin is a digital version that acts like the real world. I give you the Bitcoin. I no longer have a copy of it. That's a legitimate Bitcoin. It's done. If it transferred to you, went through consensus, it's legitimate. I don't have a copy of it. I can't take it back, etc. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. Look at all the times that you've seen that gold has, in China where they've sold fake gold. There's no way to verify it, right? What about companies that store the gold, that sell you the gold and store it, but end up stealing it from you, right? That all goes away when you have the values of the physical world present in a digital realm. So anyway, I think there's different arguments that need to be used. That's my point. Hi, Kevin. Great to see some improvements. Agree. Always like to see improvements. Parsec announced that they hired your tram manager, Daniel P. Yeah, I saw that. They also have Brian over. They also have you, Brian, over there. They're pulling from our pool. I don't know if I should be upset about that. Maybe I should be. But yeah, I saw that as well. So good on Brian. I hope he can help out. I hope he's getting remunerated. And I hope you're getting remunerated too, Brian, to be fair. Geez, Kev, you missed one question. You missed my question. Did I? Hold on. I see beer from Stubble and Stout. I did miss this one. Sorry. Any further info about Tangible funding projects still going on? Tangible has now broken ground. Tangible looks like we're going to get some funding from a bank. Fingers crossed. And that's going to push us through the first development phase. And more than likely, I think Tangible will come back at an almost complete phase with a slightly different offer for the public. And I think that's going to be interesting. So Tangible's still moving forward, guys. Still moving forward. Evan is the man that's really pushing there, getting things done with his team on the ground in Japan, talking to banks, talking to high net worth individuals, really pushing the project. And hats off to Evan for that. Lots of great work being done there. And yep, still moving forward. How are you guys able to charge just $5 fees when Coinbase charges me hundreds? Well, Coinbase sucks. I guess I could end the response there, right? Coinbase sucks. Maybe we should just use that as a hashtag. Coinbase sucks. But they do suck, though, seriously. So there's businesses where there are fees to operate in a business that businesses can't undercut, right? Like if you operate a bus service and gas costs you this much, then you can't charge less for a ticket than what it costs you to move around, or your business goes out of business. Then there's businesses where the cost is all front-loaded on the actual buyer or seller, like gas fees on Ethereum, for example, usually get stuck with the person who's actually moving the asset, not the exchange. And then everything is front-loaded. So pretty much everything they charge you goes into their pocket. Simple as that. We're not as greedy, and we tend to believe that if you have more money in your pocket, you will do more transactions, which at the end of the day, and you'll tell people about it, which at the end of the day will put more money in our pocket. Simple as that. So rather than going down, let's say this ideal that in a business you need to charge as much as you possibly can, kind of the Switzerland model, we go down the Amazon model, which is our goal is over time is to charge you less so that we make more. It's as simple as that. Cardano, yep, that's definitely on a short list somewhere. We're definitely going to get much faster at adding assets here going into next year. It's going to be a priority. We've been in talks with 3 or 4 different issuers now, all on a either JV level or something like that, where we want to see what we can collaborate on. So things are going to start to get interesting in terms of listings. We haven't been in touch with Cardano directly, but it's definitely one of, let's say, the major altcoins that we're looking to list. Are you a little frustrated at the pace growth of CM currently? I've said this before and I'll say it again. With the resources we have, and that means the money we have in the bank, the runway we have, the ability for us to grow the team, et cetera, currently, I think we've done fantastically well. Am I frustrated that I look and see, you know, Bitpanda gets 50 million? Or, you know, whatever, something like that. And I say, man, if we had that money, you know, where would we be? Sure. That's just human nature, man. You know, and not to say nothing, I wish Bitpanda the best. I hope they, you know, do well and fucking company thrives. I don't think we don't need to be the only player in town. We just need to be better than the other players. And I think we already are in many aspects. And there's some things we got to do better, and we will. And we learn from our mistakes, and we're transparent about it. And we do stuff like this, which nobody else does. Yeah, of course, I get frustrated because I know we have abilities far beyond what we've done, and we're hindered by whether it's runway, money. Well, to be honest, everything comes back to runway and money. Because if we had 50 million, there's many things we could be doing that we can't do right now that limits us. So I'm not really frustrated about CoinMetro because CoinMetro has done fantastic for what it has. Yep, back in the ICO, we could have sold a bit sooner. We could have liquidated to some stable coin. We could have done some things and got more money. And we definitely could have done a bit better on that angle in the beginning, that's for sure. And we could have spent that money a bit different, scaled up a bit slower with the team. There's things we could have done there. But in terms of especially in the last year or so, where we've made tons of progress, way more products than we made in the first 2 years, made in the last year. And we've done that on a shoestring compared to other. There are companies out there that spend what we spend in the entirety of our organization building an app. No operations. So I'm pretty happy. I think the team deserves a pat on the back. I think the entirety of the team deserves a pat on the back. And we're still going to keep on pushing. And the moment that we have more capabilities in terms of cash flow, cash on hand, I think it's going to be spectacular what we can do. What are you planning to close the next funding round? How much are you planning to raise? When do you think CM will raise 100 million? Well, we have the bond. Bond closes at the end of January. The current funding round is kind of going in tandem with the bond, though I have to be honest, with everything else on everybody else's plate, we haven't been 100% focused on really pushing that equity round. In fact, all the documentation we have is around the bond. So when we do talk to people that are interested in equity, we kind of have to talk them around that documentation. So we still need to put together some documentation for direct equity as well. Though for me, I think if the bond is open, it tells me that why wouldn't somebody go on the bond first, especially if they're going to get locked into this current valuation and get some cash flow for 2 years. But so I think realistically, probably Q2, end of Q2 is when fundraising will probably end. It's going to give us a solid 6 months of fundraising time between, let's say, January and June. Are you working with PRQ to integrate their tokenomics platform on CM? No, that's not something that we've been talking about. Definitely open to do it, but there's been no talk about that. Thank you. You guys are the best in terms of speed and service. I've been telling all my friends to switch over from Coinbase. The fact that we've got our money back in XCM, that we get our money back in XCM is just amazing. Well done. Much appreciated. I think, anyway, guys, when we opened up Trustpilot, we started getting reviews. Definitely humbling to see all the reviews and how good they are, and just reinforce what we've been saying. The fact we focus on support, the fact that we try to actually treat clients like they're valuable rather than treating them like they're disposable, which most companies in fintech do. And And it's great to see that that's actually the case, that people are actually enthralled by how we do business. Yep, maybe there's some comments here or there about UI and a button or two or there, and all that stuff gets fixed over time. And we're great to get, we're absolutely beside ourselves to get that feedback, because it helps us. It helps us make everything better. So anyway, thank you very much for the feedback. Very much appreciated. It's always nice to hear nice feedback. It's also nice to hear critical feedback. So I appreciate that our community is open and is open to criticize just as much as they're open to kind of pat us on the back. They both help. And a shout out to what Andrew, right? Our famous one-star review, that after coming back and forth with myself and I think our support team, now up to a 4-star. So I think that's awesome. I think that shows that we don't block you because you say something bad. We want to change that into something good. And I think that's remarkable, and definitely separates us from everybody else in the industry. Yeah, Ivan Thing YouTuber said the first crypto bond will be soon released. Need more awareness. Yep, definitely need more awareness. Look, Ivan's paid to say things. He doesn't check to see if they're true or not. Somebody pays him $20K and he says whatever they want him to say. That's the nature of our business. And that's one reason too why we need more regulation. If we had more regulation, especially on advertising and things like that, we wouldn't have this issue. But anyway, that's the industry we're in, so that's fine. Hats off to Ivan for doing his thing and being able to make money by, saying things online. So nice. But definitely we need more oversight on that, because obviously we weren't the first one to do it either, by the way. Bonds have been on Ethereum between banks for quite some time. There's even been bond issuances in Germany by private companies. We're not the first to issue a bond. We are the first in Europe to have an end-to-end bond issuance. So that's the distinction point. Anyway, guys, it's coming up on an hour. I appreciate you guys very much, guys and gals. We got to have some women in there. I think I saw at least one, so that makes me happy. Reaching out on both sides of the fence there. I guess there's more than 2 sides of the fence now. I shouldn't even say that. There's like 12 sides of the fence. I don't know. Anyway, before we go down that rabbit hole. So have a great weekend, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate the questions. As I always say, spend time with friends and family. You're probably doing that virtually now again. So jump on Zoom, jump on Google Meet, jump on Skype, jump on FaceTime. I don't know, whatever medium you're using. Say hi to your friends, say hi to your family. Listen to your mom, your dad, your old uncle, whoever they usually don't want to talk to. Let them babble about something, because they're probably all stressed out because they can't leave their house. Of course, before they end their narrative, make sure you let them know that XCM is the savior of COVID and it's the cure. I probably should have some type of message at the bottom of the screen that says that's entirely bullshit, but hopefully you guys know that by now. Anyway, have a good weekend, guys, and see you guys on Telegram. You can tag me at Kevin Murcko. You can tweet me on Twitter at Kevin Murcko. Ask me a question, send me a statement, do whatever you want. I'll probably respond. I will be on Telegram, so you have questions that weren't answered here. If I missed one, or if you just didn't make it in time, go ahead and tag me on Telegram at the CoinMetro channel at CoinMetro. Tag me at Kevin Murcko, and I'll answer your questions. That's it, guys. See you later. See you next week. Have a great weekend, and thanks for all the support. Cheers.